mobile, and then from there they become moderators. And so that's the way that it's worked. I think that kind of graduated process works pretty well. And so again, in this case you're complaining about, but I don't see a specific complaint other than you don't seem to like this person in question. So again, if you have a very specific problem and a very specific solution that you would propose, other than I hate this guy, he sucks because of all this random stuff I read on the internet and the conspiracy.jpg I posted, then by all means email it to me, post it to feedback. But the general again, such and such sucks because some other guy unfortunately said that and I believed him and blah 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 is just not really productive at all. And again, we've really done a good job at, and I know that, and so I won't accept. I'm open to criticism, but we've really made a very concerted effort over the past few years to, as part of kind of the succession planning, to really strengthen the team and to, again, increase accountability. I mean, we have, we log all privileged deletions. We can look at them. We have a new interface for viewing them. We have a way of seeing who's active and how active. I mean, like, we have all these great tools now that have really increased, with the /bans, more transparency, and with the ban templates, but also even on the back end stuff that you guys don't see. But we keep a very close watch, and every time we get complaints about somebody deleting something or blah 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 that they shouldn't, we can very quickly go call up and see if they've actually done it. And that's part of the reason we removed user deletions for the most part. I mean, it's hard for users to delete posts now because so many of the emails we would get complaining about, oh, this moderator deleted this, was actually the OP deleting the, it was like the OP doing it to kind of cry wolf, and to get people kind of on their side. And it was essentially this like setup, or it would again be we'd actually go up and look at the post and we'd go, wait a minute, that did break the rules and you're wrong. So I mean, there is a lot of maybe not as much transparency as there could be, but there is a lot of accountability on the back end now, especially given I have kind of trusted more of this to essentially our HR person, which is our kind of managing moderator, and he does a really excellent job, or he or she, I should say. I mean, it's not a she, it's a he, but I guess I have to. It's hard to refer to genderless pronouns, but so anyway, I think this person has done a really good job with that. But again, if you don't agree, feel free to write a constructive explanation of why you think I was wrong, and again, what you would do differently, and I will make sure that makes it across the desk of whoever should succeed me. Do you feel like you have grown up for 4032? Do you feel like you have grown up? Do you see yourself as an adult? Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking around again. I'm looking around my apartment. I wish I'm not really done up for the camera right now, but I've got like a fucking Jan Cat scarf over there. I've got a bunch of games and shit. I got my PlayStation, my Xbox, not the newest generation, but the older one. I got some hiking boots. My apartment, sometimes I'm actually embarrassed about my apartment because it, I don't know if it's really a 27-year-old's apartment. I mean, it's tiny, but I like it. And I've got a lot of nerd paraphernalia and shit everywhere. So in a lot of ways, again, I'm very kind of true to those roots. I mean, I'm very proud of my heritage of sorts, coming from kind of the nerdy anime gamer world. Again, my interests have changed over time, as most, as one's interests tend to, not everybody's, and that's, again, fine either way. I really like outdoors now. I ride my bike a lot when it's warmer out. I really enjoy hiking. I did a big hike in December. I just generally like spending more time outdoors. I started rock climbing last year. So yeah, sure, my interests have changed, and I think people associate that with quote unquote growing up. I mean, I don't like that term in this sense because I think it implies that again, my younger interests such as games and anime are things that one must grow out of to grow up, and I, like you, resent that kind of implication that to be an adult who likes games and anime is somehow not grown up. But I mean, I'm walking around my apartment now because I'm on my laptop, but I've actually got some animes hanging on I have 2 anime little paintings that I bought in Japan that are hanging on my walls. God, I've got so many memories here. I mean, I've got a Zaku. I've got made out of recycled motorcycle parts. It's actually awesome. I should take a photo for this for you guys. I have fucking Legend of Galactic Heroes on Laserdisc. I bought it for, I think it was like 20. It was like $20. It was like 2,000 yen. The list price is $800 basically. So I got it for this great deal. Got a pedo bear, stuffed pedo bear plushie on my desk. I've got corks, champagne corks from the 10th. One of the moderators bought a bunch of champagne for our after panel party at AWA. I've got a picture actually of me and the Icon Cheeseburger guy at RaffleCon. Let's see what else. So, I mean, sure. I mean, I've got some headphones. Maybe I should post to G about my headphones. Got a calendar of Mount Fuji that my friend's mom gave me. I've got a Moot plushie over here. Lots of little gifts. I have actually a hand-drawn photo that somebody made for me at AWA of me and Yatsuba. So I mean, I look around my collection of my life here, and again, I see a lot of my past represented in my belongings, and again, I have no regrets about that past, or I'm not embarrassed by that. So again, I've grown up, but I don't think that should imply that I've grown beyond my childhood interests. It's just they've grown to expand new interests, and I think that's just a part of growing up. $4054 knows something. You saved my life. I had a severe drinking problem a few months back, and I ended up vomiting myself to sleep, which destroyed my laptop. Had I not passed out on my side while fun posting S4S, I would have asphyxiated. Best of luck to you, glorious cuckold of you. So, I'm glad to hear that. Again, it's stories like that, whether or not that's real. I hope you find help. And don't. I think the lesson there should not be to browse 4chan while you're getting blackout drunk, but to maybe not drink to the point of blacking out and nearly puking yourself to death, or choking on your vomit rather. But it's stories like that again, it's every one story like that makes up for the anything really negative that people say. 4058, how did running a startup change you and how you run 4chan? Again, it really didn't, it didn't change anything from a business perspective. I think it gave me, I didn't have much of a business acumen, for a long time because I just never had that experience. I didn't go to business school, but it certainly taught me a lot there in terms of, budgeting and stuff like that. But really, as I've touched on numerous times now over the past almost 7 hours, it really taught me a lot about people management and just how to treat people well, and it just gave me something to aspire to at first. And again, I was a terrible boss at Canvas for the first few years because I just had no idea what I'm doing. I mean, how many of us really know what we're doing in life? And I learned kind of through that experience, and just kind of trial by fire and being mentored and making mistakes and doing a few things right and a lot of things wrong, and just learning from those mistakes. And I think I improved a lot as a leader over the course of those 4 years. And so it's a very, if you go on my blog and chrishateswriting.com, and I wrote a post called Today My Startup Failed, and I kind of reflected on that. And one of my investors, I joked, but one of my investors joked to me and said, you got a very, expensive degree there. You have it's a $3.6 million, master's degree in management there. And so, the net benefit there was that, again, it was such an incredible learning experience. And unfortunately, came at the expense of other people's money. But I think it would be even worse if I didn't learn anything from that experience. So, a lot of, failure teaches you, I think, way more than success does in a lot of ways. And, the struggles of 4chan over the years and the constraints and whatnot. Again, I look back at that, and I learned so much from 4chan being such a struggle. I think if it had been smooth sailing, I would have learned nearly as much. Here's a good question. 4063. Because you were very influential in the creation of other image boards, Hispachan, CrouchChan, etc., you have something to say to the administrators or sorry for coughing here, guys. Do you have